Wednesday was horrible.
Welcome into Football Guys Sunday Morning Live. I am Joey Wright, joined as always by Jagger May and Jeff Bell. Guys, the holiday spirit is now gone, and we are fully focused on winning fantasy championships. But how are you guys doing today?
A little bit sad to hear the holiday spirit is now gone from one and only Joey Wright, but wearing his brand new Buccaneers jersey. But doing well. First off, an apology. I was not very good last week, and I'm sorry about that. I told people to sit Jalen McMillan, and he had a touchdown and 50 yards, and so I'll be better this week.
I wasn't here, so I did nothing for you guys. So I'm all right. My conscience is clean. But I'm good. I had a good break. I guess I'll apologize for my DMs were full of stuff, and I ignored most of you guys all week for Christmas. But I
especially
love you.
me.
I just need a break. Yeah, I did, Joey.
A lot of those DMs were me, Jagger, and I'm very, very hurt. It's hard to get through the show, but I'm a professional. I'm going to do it. Guys, we're here today with you until 12:30 as usual. First half hour, as always, with our best friend in the entire world, Jeff Bell. Second half hour today, surprise, Hutchinson Brown's going to be here. So we are excited to see Hutchinson help us win some championships. And then Adam Hutchinson will be in with us for the last half hour to help update us on all these injuries, which we have so many injuries. Earlier, before the show started, we were discussing, what championships are going to look like next year. A lot of people are getting kind of upset with the 17-game schedule. We'll see. But for this week, players that we know that are out, Jalen Hurts, Anthony Richardson. So there's two big quarterbacks that you've been starting all season that will not be starting today. Jagger, if you've got Joe Flacco, where's your trust level if you've got to stick him in for Richardson?
I'd say it's medium. We know that he's competent and he can get stuff done, but we also know that he is Joe Flacco. So and I know that isn't a great thing to hear, but he is going against the Giants. He does have solid weapons, so I do trust to throw him out there. If you got this far with Anthony Richardson, you should feel fine putting Joe Flacco in because the risk and variance is probably the same.
Perfect. And Jeff, I'll kind of ask you the same question about Jalen Hurts with Kenny Pickett starting today for the Eagles. Do we have less trust in Pickett than Flacco if we had to choose between those two?
I would play Flacco over Pickett personally. The matchup going against the Giants, I think the Cowboys, the Cowboys showed us something last week against your Buccaneers, Joey. They knew they were eliminated. Thanks. They still went out there and played hard. Yeah, sorry about that. But right. Pickett also showed us something in the meltdown against the Commanders. I think that the Eagles will lean heavily on Saquon Barkley today. I know A.J. Brown's coming in a little bit iffy on that too. So I don't know. I would go Flacco over Pickett.
With the school year being how it is, with my kids being home a little bit more, my oldest daughter, she's really shown a love of watching football with me. So I always let her stay up and watch Sunday night games with me if she doesn't have school the next day. So I let her watch that Bucs-Cowboys game, and she said it was the funniest she's ever seen me. I was not happy, and I was not being pleasant, but she said it's the funniest thing she's seen because I was screaming at the TV, screaming Bucky at the top of my lungs. So it was a good time for her. Not so much for me at the end. But also... back to the injuries. CeeDee Lamb also out today. Chuba Hubbard, if he got you this far, thank you so much, Chuba Hubbard. You weren't even supposed to do what you did for us this year, but you did. So thank you. Rest up on IR. Hopefully we'll get some run for you next year as well. But that was kind of a big blow if you had him in your lineups and you were starting them. Sorry about that. Cade Otton also out for the Buccaneers. Alvin Kamara, David Njoku, and Tony Pollard's got the flu and didn't travel with the team and was declared out yesterday. Tajay Spears has had two really, really good games in a row, Jeff. I'm gonna ask the question because I took a look at kind of where consensus rankings have him right now. Is Tajay Spears a top 12 running back this week?
I'm not at top 12. I've got him at running back 19. I like him quite a bit there. There's certainly a lot of room that he can exceed that, but a lot of what he's done the last 2 weeks was garbage time in the receiving game. And I don't know if the Jaguars are capable of creating garbage time. So that's my concern.
I've been to Jacksonville and I can tell you it's pretty garbagey. So if there's going to be garbage time somewhere, it might be Jacksonville.
Every time it was garbage time in Jacksonville.
That stadium's actually really nice. That has a pool in it. And they're apparently going to rip it down and build a new one. So I don't know why Jacksonville, you just can't have nice things. That stadium literally exists for the Florida-Georgia game, and that's it. I don't think they care the pro football team plays there.
I'm a little bit higher than Jeff is on Spears, but like that's not like confidence or anything. That's just more like process of elimination of who I liked at that point.
I had a roller coaster yesterday where I lost Chuba Hubbard, and I was pretty bummed about it. And then an hour and a half later, I have Tajay Spears on the bench, and that's who I was going to have to play. And Tony Pollard was out. I was like, well, maybe Santa brought me one more gift this year. We'll see. Questionable today and more doubtful than anything on Tua now. It does not look like Tua is going to play today. We've not gotten the official word last I checked. Devontae Adams questionable. Looks like he might play as long as Xavier Legette. Looks like he will also be out there today. Expected to play today. Malik Neighbors, Tyrone Tracy, Tyreek Hill is expected to be out there, even there's going to be no Tua and no Jalen Waddle. Garendo is going to be out there, as well as Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett. And we kind of talked about Flacco and Pickett. We prefer Flacco over Pickett if you have to start one of them. Looking more probably super flex than anything. And then not expected to play today, Jalen Waddle and Christian Watson. Jagger with Christian Watson probably not playing today. Does that make you a little more excited for Jaden Reed and the other pass catching options there in Green Bay? One less mouth to feed.
Yeah, that's what exactly it. One less mouth to feed, and more that says anything. That says more for Dontavian Wicks, I think. And that's not someone I'm trying to force in a lineup, but depending on what kind of championship you are in and what kind of depth you have, that's the only time I feel good playing Dontavian Wicks at all is when somebody else goes down. So if I guess to answer your question, I feel the same about everyone else, and Dontavian Wicks has a new way to disappoint me. So
Beautiful. All right. Well, that's the injuries. And once again, at noon, we're going to cover those again, a little more in depth with Adam. All right, guys. Well, these beautiful people here with us in our week 17. So I'm going to answer some questions for them. If you're watching us here on YouTube, make sure to like and subscribe. And let's get in here. Hefe, first question of the day. Here we go. Thanks for all the advice this year. Thank you for being here, Hefe. Please pick a running back and a flex between Ford, Tracy, Jonnu, McMillan, and Madison. Jeff, we'll go to you. Get the running back first out of the way. Ford or Tracy? Or Madison, I guess.
Ford, Tracy, or Madison. I'm going to go with Tracy here. I don't love any of them this week, and the Tracy's coming in with the injury worries me a little bit, but I will go with Tracy.
Okay, and the flex, am I being a little presumptuous to think it's probably between Jonnu and McMillan?
Yes. I mean, no, like it is between those two.
Yeah, I got McMillan wrong last week. Play McMillan.
Yeah,
he's established himself, the wide receiver too. We know that the upside's certainly there. 3 straight touchdowns, that's certainly there. So yeah.
Let me just go ahead and get this out of the way, guys. Do you guys remember the Dolphins without Tua? You guys remember that?
No. Yeah. You're just don't want that.
Yeah, you don't want any part of that, guys.
I mean, to be blunt on the Dolphins right now, I think with Devin Echan, you're hoping to get that PPR, hoping he catches 5 balls, basically. Anything else is extra out of this offense. I think this is going to be the weather's nice in Cleveland, so that'll be a big plus from what we expected when we saw this game on the schedule, but I just don't think you're going to get a lot out of this Dolphins offense today.
All right. Doug Fresh. Who do I start? I figured that out in real time. Jerome Ford or Tajay Spears? Jagger.
Spears.
It's Spears, yeah. So it's a straight up TD only league. Does that change it for you, Jagger? If it's TD only?
No. I mean,
okay.
Yeah.
I just didn't read that part of it, so I wanted to make sure I got
What
you.
is a TD only league, and why do you do that? That is, I get like it.
It's very old. It was basically how fantasy started was touchdowns only. The very first leagues were touchdowns only, so you get points for touchdowns only.
Just seeing a bunch of old grumpy uncles like, well, in my day, yards didn't matter. It was just if you got in the end zone. And that was my uncle. That's a really good impression of him, actually. All right. So, Doug, good luck. Get that championship today. Luca's in here with us. Good morning, guys. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you. Well, actually, it's not Happy New Year. You're telling us in advance, and we appreciate that. Mooney, Downs, Ridley, or Thielen? We need one, Jeff.
I'm going to go Calvin Ridley here out of all this group. Mooney, I think it's still but a little bit iffy what you're going to get out of that Atlanta passing attack. I really like Downs a lot, but I think when you're getting your championship upside, Ridley is where I land.
Yeah, Ridley's been really solid. I agree with you there. And then he's got 3 really good options at running back. Is this one of those situations, Jagger, with Achane, Jacobs, Brees Hall, you're just going to avoid Achane because of the bad game script and go through one of the other 2 options, or are you still going with Achane?
All these are really sexy backs with lots of baggage. So, yeah, I guess I would take Brees Hall and Jacobs. Yeah, I guess, yeah. Jacobs is the one I like the most because he actually has a quarterback and an offense. I can't say the same for Achane and Brees Hall. Have you guys noticed that the spreads today are just like ridiculous? Like it is insane. There's so many like 500 point plus or minuses on money lines. It's a weird day to have a championship. Let's put it that way.
It looks like midseason like college football out there today.
Exactly.
All right, Bailey and Luca's dad in here. Anxiety ridden. Well, my
Every
doctor
day.
gave me something for that.
Yeah.
So biggest decision of the year, Daniels or Allen. Oh, that's a good decision to have. Jagger, make the decision for him.
Oh, put me on the spot there. I'm probably gonna roll with Allen here. Again, the Jets are pretty bad, right? You're not gonna roll with Allen?
No,
Give me.
no, it's very rainy in Buffalo, and the Jets. Allen has really traditionally struggled against the Jets, and Daniels, you got a fast track going up against the Falcons defense. That I think that there'll be a lot more there on that game.
Listen to Jeff on the Bills then.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a slog, and I think the Bills are just going to try to win this game 13-10 and lock in the 2 seed and take bench everybody basically next week. So,
yeah, that Falcons Commanders game has something incentive for both of them tonight, and I'm greatly looking forward to that. Come on, Commanders, let's win. Sherry Smith in here. Happy Sunday to you, Sherry. PPR league. So Pollard is not going to be in for you, so that's going to be Spears. And so we'll get you 2 wide receivers and a flex out of A.J. Brown, Jacoby Myers, and Jalen McMillan. Well, that's 2 wide receivers and a flex for you. Sherry, thanks so much for being here. That was the easiest question I've had all day. Tony Pollard's out today. All right. Dane in here. Dane, thank you so much for being here. Lots to be decided in 2 championships today. Real quick, Jeff, how many championships do you have today? Matchups?
Right off the top of my head, I'm 7 is where I'm at.
Jagger, do you have any championship matchups?
I'm out. I also keep it slim. Like I think I'm in like less than 20 leagues or something like that. So I got knocked out last week.
Wow. I've got 4. So hopefully I can bring home one of those. And one of those 4 is against Jeff Bell. So let's just vote for which.
Everybody's got a championship against Jeff Bell today. So
that's a t-shirt. That's a t-shirt, Jeff, right there. All right, Dane, sorry. We'll get to your question. Thanks for being here with us all season. All PPR questions here. So Neighbors, Downs, or Devonta Smith? Jagger, pick one wide receiver.
Downs.
All right, and then Strange, Chig, or Juwan Johnson at tight end. Jeff,
I'm rolling Chig. Chig, I've been on him for a couple of weeks now. We've seen he's setting career highs week over week. It really seems like if you go back to that 70-yard touchdown against the Texans, since then they've made him a key focal point of their offense.
And then it's going to be Tyron Tracy at the running back. I know Blackshear is going to get the start today, but Mike Boone's going to be mixed in there enough too. I think Tracy has a much better role today. Gabe, good morning, beautiful people. Gabe always flattering us. And happy Fantasy Championship Sunday. JSN laid a big goose egg on me on Thursday Night Football, so I need a little punch today. So we need some upside here, Jeff. With BTJ or Tajay Spears?
I'm not sitting Brian Thomas Jr. the way he's been running.
Yep, 100%. And then pick a tight end between Hawk and Chig, which we picked Chig. Oh, wait, no, that wasn't the last question. Is it going to be Chig over Hawk, or are you going Hawk?
I think the way he phrases this, if you're a big underdog, I would go probably Brian Thomas Jr. and then Chig, just in hopes that game shoots out. Versus normally I would take Hutchinson, but with the Titans and the Jaguars going back and forth, there's a little bit of potential for that.
Can we talk about Hutchinson for a second?
Yes.
You can now talk about Hutchinson for a minute.
He's not been that good since he came back. Am I just not watching the game, or is the lines lying to me?
I just think I don't know. Hawkinson's like all right. I've always thought he was all right, but I think now the Vikings have everything in place with the exception of whoever is going to be their quarterback long term. So he's just not a focal point like he has been. It used to be Jefferson and Hawkinson, and now Hawkinson is like the third or fourth option if you really think about it.
No.
There was a weird stretch. Justin Jefferson didn't score a touchdown for 7 weeks. And if you go back to that Cardinals game, they were trailing by a good amount against the Cardinals. And going into that game, Kevin O'Connell had comments about basically Jefferson's being guarded different than any player in the league. And I think they figured it out in that game of basically how to get the ball to Jefferson. And since then, he's just gone nuclear. And adding what Addison has done, it's just you're not prioritizing getting the ball to TJ Hawkinson.
Yeah.
Perfect. I just want to talk about him for a second. I think he's got great hair, though. It's got nice hair. Nice curl, little curl to it. Oh. Jay Blaker. Good morning. Flex spot, PPR. Pick one, please. Between Jerome Ford, George Kittle, and Tajay Spears. So let's get this, because I feel like we're going to get this question a lot between Ford and Spears. What's the definitive answer on that today? Between Ford and Spears? It's Spears for me as well. So we'll default to that. With George Kittle, would you play Kittle over Spears today?
I would not with already playing Jennings.
Okay. Perfect. All right. Boar in here. I thought that was Iron Man. Or is that Boar? Is that another guy?
No, that is Iron Man. Like that is a picture of Iron Man.
All right. Thank you. Jagger is my go-to on all graphic novel and comic book related materials. So I had to go to him real quick on that. Good morning, football guys, and Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you. Playing for the ship. Down a few studs. If Neighbors plays, flexed 2 in PPR between Wicks, Coker, Miller, Brandon Cooks, and Zacchaeus. Thanks for all your insights this year. Thanks for being here with us. So we need 2. Jagger, which name jumps out to you most here?
Wicks and Kendre Miller. Brandon Cooks has been something, but it's been pretty like funneled to CeeDee Lamb. But now with him gone, that's something. Jeff, where are you at with this?
Kendre Miller, I think for sure. And then I would go Cooks with Lamb out of the game. I think that I worry about the Philadelphia defense. Those corners have been pretty good, but any of those other players, I think Cooks is the only one I feel comfortable getting targets.
Okay. I think I'm there with you guys. I'm a little afraid of the matchup with the Eagles, but it would still be Brandon Cooks for me. I do think Coker could have a good game, though, if you're like desperate, because Bucs secondary is just abysmal, as we've gone over many, many times this year. And one more, 2 running backs. So Spears, Hall, and Jones. Pick 2, Jeff. It's Aaron Jones, I would guess.
Yeah, I was gonna say if it's Aaron Jones, Aaron Jones, I would think I would play Aaron Jones, and I'm gonna play Breece Hall over Spears. That might be the wrong move in PPR. I might lean. Actually, give me Spears over Breece Hall in PPR.
Okay,
and Jones.
It's championship week, so sometimes you make a decision like you normally another week you'd be like, I'm gonna swing for the fences a little bit more, but it's a lot. Who was saying earlier this week? I could. In a situation like this, I could sleep knowing Breece Hall had a bad game than if I sat Breece Hall and he had a great game. It's just easier to sleep. So,
Yep.
And then Jay Haas just saying Brian Robinson. Yeah, Brian Robinson. Totally agree.
Anytime touchdown. Let's go.
Yeah. Actually, Brian Robinson or Isaiah Rendo. It's just a 3rd place game, so no pressure. Do you get anything for 3rd place?
Some people get payouts. Depends on for me in that situation with 3rd place payouts, if your pot is less than $500, don't pay out to 3rd. Like just spread that out. In my opinion, you can do what you want though. Live your life.
Rohan Jacob in here. Jennings, Neighbors, Debo, McMillan, or Thielen. Who would you pick? I'm guessing you need just one. So which one would you be, Jagger?
Jennings.
Okay.
Not Debo. I can tell you I don't want.
I'm buying Debo, man. To be honest with you, I think that what we saw last week, they unlocked him a little bit. Maybe it goes away with Isaac Grona coming back. Maybe it was just Patrick Taylor, but I do think they unlocked him a little bit. last week, and I think that they could be chasing against the Lions, but I would play Neighbors. But
I had Debo fatigue. I don't know what he did last week because I was so focused in on him this entire season because he was my main home league. I was just, riding the tides with him all season, and then I was out of the playoffs in that league, so I just stopped looking at Debo stuff. So I had Debo fatigue.
Basically, nothing happened with Patrick Taylor, and they had to, for no other reason, put Debo Samuel back into kind of more running back feature role.
Good. At some point, they just got to make Debo, if they are on running back 7 on that team, just play him. All right, Michael in here. Good morning. QB nightmare scenario: Flacco, Rudolph, Penix, or Pickett. Yeah, that if there was like a Mount Rushmore nightmare scenario for fantasy football, those 4 quarterbacks might be on it. Jagger, which nightmare is not so bad?
Penix and Flacco. I don't want Rudolph or Pickett if I have those 2 options.
Guys, I have great news. Tremendous news, actually. Bonjour, papas! Happy New Year to all. Full PPR, bench 1 of Devonta Adams, Juwan Jennings, Darnell Mooney, or Devonta Smith. Thank you all for another amazing year. Much love and joy. Thank you, little French boy. We are excited to see you in here. Sorry for blowing your speakers out also at home or your headphones if you're listening to me. Jagger, help little French boy.
You're probably benching Devontae Adams, right? Like with that injury?
Adams is going to catch a touchdown today. I don't know if he's going to catch anything beyond a touchdown, but he said that he's going to be active because he wants to catch Aaron Rodgers' 500th touchdown pass. So
I would bench Mooney.
Then it's Mooney. Then it's Mooney. Then so
love the thumbnail. Let's go forward. I'm a Chevy man myself, but okay. AJ Lee in here. Happy New Year, football guys, and thank you for all your help in my first season of fantasy football. Wow. Hopefully you're in the championship. You're asking us a question, so you must be. So that's exciting for you in your first year when you're just, a wild-eyed, bushy-tailed, just don't know all the traps that you're about to fall into in the years ahead. Pick 1 in PPR, Debo, Shakir, or McMillan. Jeff, let's get a championship for them. What do you say?
Jalen McMillan questions are back, and yeah, I got them all wrong last week. Debo for me. That might be wrong. That might be a terrible pick. I don't know. McMillan is going to give you 5 catches, 50 yards, and a touchdown. So your question is, does Debo Samuel exceed that? So,
yeah, McMillan is like a weird Chris Godwin right now. He's like a big slot Chris Godwin, where he might not have the hyper volume, but he's definitely has the touchdown and bigger plays.
All right, D. Smitty in here. The worst thing about 6 games being played before Sunday is I don't get the insights from this show. That is the worst part of it this all, I would say. I'm sure you would have saved me from starting Connor yesterday. Would we have saved him from starting Connor?
Yeah, Adam would have 100% told you not to start him.
Yeah, I took the benefit of somebody starting him against me, and I was pretty happy with the output from James Conner yesterday. Why would they even say he's active? Like, I don't get it. All right, Waffles, where you been? Ahoy and happy breakfast. I don't know, is Waffles little French boy? Is that could be it.
Connor did have 7 touches in the first quarter, so he was on pace for 28 touches, but yeah, couldn't play after the first quarter. But
yeah.
And I love that we have like characters and avatars. Like, don't just show up as Greg, we want you to be like that Wayne Brady show when you come up and you're dressed in like a bizarre outfit. You know what I'm talking about? Let's make a deal.
Yeah. It's not The Price is Right. It's what's it called?
Let's Make a Deal, I think.
Let's make a deal. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's make a deal for next season. I don't want to see a regular name in this chat. I want it to be all characters and funny avatars. Let's have the most fun show out there. All right, Browns or Colts? Wow, way to kill the mood, Chester.
Yeah, I was like, we'll get defensive questions. Probably Browns though.
Yeah, I think so. Judy D. Judy D could be a really fun character with a neat avatar, but nope, just a J today. That's all we get. Full PPR. Thanks for being here. Full PPR flex position. Abdullah or Chico Conquo? Jeff. Which one of these non-drafted players in drafts this year are you gonna take?
I had a little
That'd be
chick in
17.
best ball.
Yeah, I did too.
Abdullah for me. Yeah, he's been running hot. I mean, and both of them been running hot. That's why you're asking this question. But I think against the Saints, that was pathetic what we saw last week. And the Raiders, I think, will play a little bit harder than the Saints.
All right, Anthony in here. Garrett Wilson, Garendo, or Myers in the flex? Jagger, which one are you going to put in the flex?
Oh, man. My heart says Garrett Wilson, but does the Jets' heart say Garrett Wilson? Does Aaron Rodgers' heart say Garrett Wilson?
I think the real question is, like, which one of these players does Aaron Rodgers speak to first?
Yeah,
Garrett Wilson,
exactly.
Isaiah Garendo, or Jacoby Myers?
Yeah, I feel like at this point, Aaron Rodgers would call Myers in the middle of a play before he'd pass to Garrett Wilson. So, I lean. With that being said, it's hard for me to sit Garrett Wilson just because of his upside. But Garendo might be your safe floor bet.
Perfect. Tasty treat. Morning, boys. I like the avatar.
See, that's what I'm talking about. There we go. Like, when you got some donuts in the background, like you and Waffles should meet up and get something wrong.
I thought that was Jason Sportsman for a second. It's not, but I thought it was. Thanks for all you doing. Getting to the finals again. Hey, Tasty treat. Go win that finals matchup. Joey Zaza, another great character name. Could have had a great avatar, but it's not there. Achan or Brees Hall, half PPR, Jeff?
I've got Achan still above Brees Hall. It's close. I don't love either this week.
Okay. Mr. Scampers, good morning, holiday spirits, whom will never, ever leave us. Got some bad news for you. If you come here next Sunday, Scampers, we might not be here. We might, though. Joe might say you need to be there for week 18. We'll find out. That's a conversation I get to have Thursday. So there's no question here. Scampers is just here. We love you, Scampers, as always. And you're a good cat. Chaz3218. Morning, fellas. Start A.J. Brown or Devontae Adams. I think that's pretty easy. A.J. Brown. Also start Aubrey or is that Ricard? He's a kicker, so I don't know how to say his name. Reichard. Yeah, that's about right. Jagger, since you corrected me, you get to go.
I'm going to start AJ. No, I'm going to start Devontae Adams. We're going to walk down Narrative Street with Jeff. He's going to get a touchdown.
I'm saying he's going to catch one pass. It's going to be a touchdown. That's it. So that's
okay. That's all he can guarantee. Like, he can guarantee you 7 PPR points tops. Yes. Like that's. So I guess AJ Brown. Actually, AJ Brown, because Kenny Pickett knew his job to hyper target. So like, let's get real on that. That was a fun joke about Devontae Adams for a second. And I'm gonna start Brandon Aubrey.
Yeah, it's hard to sit Aubrey even with what's going on there. And Tasty Treat saying, is Jonnu worth starting with Huntley playing today? I grabbed Ferguson off the waiver wire as a backup option. So, no Tua, who's been super white hot with Jonnu Smith lately. Would you start Ferguson over Jonnu, Jeff?
Yeah, I'm in full PPR. I probably would, just because without CeeDee Lamb in there, I think they're going to have to target Ferguson. But I don't feel great about it.
And Lucas saying he's glad that you're back, Jagger.
Me too.
Thanks.
Do you know what we did without you here last week,
Jeff?
Yeah. What'd you guys do?
Jeff was on for the full 90 minutes, and then Adam was on twice. Show ends. Jeff says to me, "Man, 90 minutes is a long time."
Yeah, it is.
And I do 2 hours every week with Jag, and 90 minutes still feels like a long time.
Yeah.
I do. I'm not gonna, guys, peek behind the curtain. I love to do it. I fall asleep in the second quarter every 1 o'clock game Sunday. Like, I'm out until halftime, then I wake up.
And to give you guys some context, I'm on Mountain Time. I get up most mornings at between 5:30 and 6:30 to prep for this because I'm a dynasty and draft guy. A lot of times I don't even know what's going on in the NFL until Thursday. I don't mean that just because it's a lot of work. So we love you and we say that we work hard for you, and sometimes I'm going to get things wrong. So
did you hear, Jack? You were watching the show for a little bit last week. I compared us to the Muppet Show because I talked too much about what goes on behind the scenes. And I was like, what's because I watched the Muppet Show when I was growing up. And that's all Kermit did. Yeah. Just in case anyone else missed what I said. Because it wasn't a joke. I just think I unlocked a door last week where I was like, oh, That makes a lot of sense. Like I
Yeah,
said, it's a joke,
like
but actually,
you therapied yourself a little bit. You're like, oh,
I
that's where
did.
this comes from.
Yeah, I did. Steve Fisher, happiest New Year's wishes to you. I know I'm cooked unless Daniels and Gibbs can get 100. If there's a combo that can do it, that's a lot to ask for, but you never know. PPR tight end, a Okonkwo or Strange. It's a Okonkwo. And a wide receiver 3 between Thielen and Mooney. That's actually close. Jagger, pick one.
I'm gonna go with Thielen here by a little bit. I just think he's safer. Like right now, Mooney's gonna get you like 0 points, or he has like a 35% chance to get you 30 points. So I just made those up, but they feel legit.
Steve saying second sucks. By the way, thanks for a fun year.
Mm-hmm.
I would rather. I don't know. Would you rather lose a championship or come in third place?
Money is what matters to me.
Lose a championship.
Yeah, like if I'm getting paid. All right, we got one more for Jeff to send him out because we got Hutch back.
Okay, last one, Jeff. If Neighbors doesn't go, would you play Josh Downs or Jalen McMillan?
The never-ending Jalen McMillan questions. Josh Downs. I would play Josh Downs. So, all right, and so Jalen McMillan's going to catch a touchdown today. So just play it like where you can in the areas that you can. So there you go.
All right, Jeff, for the last time that it'll actually matter this year, because it's week 17 and week 18 doesn't matter. Unless you play your championship, then it does matter. Hit us with it one more time, Jeff.
Yeah. Clear eyes, full hearts, can't lose. You're here because you're a winner. Go out today and close that out. Be a winner. And create that league dominance that you do deserve by being a Football Guy subscriber and listener. And we love you so much. We appreciate all this time that we've been able to spend with you this year. We will miss you during the off season. We will be here for Dynasty content, whatever else you might have in the off season. Until then, I will not push the red button.
Bye, Jeff. Boop.
Hello. What's going on?
Hutch, when did you make the Hall of Fame?
You
had to think it was on your head, didn't you?
Yeah.
Not yet. Not yet. I'm working on it.
Well, if there's anybody that can do it at this company, it's you. Hutch, how was your holiday season?
Oh, it was quite fun. Got a few matchups today that I'm really excited for, really looking forward to. Got a good start in my Canes Classic finals matchup. Got a really good start with Lad McConkey, Trey McBride, and Marvin Harrison Jr. on my team. So I'm feeling good this weekend.
Yeah, ask me how my Kings Classic team did.
How did your Kings Classic team?
I was out of it like 8 weeks ago. So yeah, that's how my Kings Classic team did. I forgot that I was in the Kings Classic until you just mentioned it. That's how long I've forgotten about how bad that team did this year.
Wow.
All right. Well, Hutch, thank you so much for being here with us today. You'll be here with us until noon. And then you hop over to the Discord and answer some questions over there. Hutch, thanks so much for hopping in here. Let's get right into these questions. Andrea, good morning. Need 2 between London, Jennings, BTJ, and Devontae Adams. That's 4 good options. Hutch, pick 2 of them for
yeah. Yeah, those are 2. Those are a lot of great options there. I think I think I'm going to go with London first actually on this one. I want to play London this week.
Okay.
The thing is, we've seen with Washington, they have Marshawn Lattimore now, and what they like to do with him is like to stick him man on man with the number 1 wide receiver. We saw with AJ Brown. I was at that game. Like every play, like pretty much every play, he was manning up AJ Brown. That's what you saw. And Drake London is a dominator against man coverage. When you look at his PFF grades, when you look at his receiving grades, he's really, really good against man coverage. You can't cover this dude. I think London's going to have a big night on Sunday Night Football. And then looking at the next option, I think you got to play Brian Thomas Jr. The Titans have had injuries on that secondary. Mac Jones has actually been playing really serviceable football, and Brian Thomas Jr. has been a dominator. I think I'm going with Brian Thomas Jr. and Drake London here.
Perfect. Yeah, I actually called Hutch last week to come on the show, and he said, can't go into the Eagles game. And I'm like, you enjoy that game.
Yes.
Much more important than today. So, but people lost their championship options because of you last week, Hutch. So hopefully you can sleep with that for the rest of the week.
Yeah.
Happy holidays, all.
Can't.
Thanks for getting me to the finals. Downs or Mooney? Where do we land on that,
Downs.
Jagger?
Downs.
Yeah.
The Vike Queen. Early Happy New Year. Thank you for being correct on the timing of your messaging. Full point. Pick 2 between Miller, Downs, Coker, Brandon Cooks, Zacchaeus, and Bigsby. Hutch, give us 2.
Ooh, I think we're going with the first two. Kendrick Miller did have a bad game last week. I think that was more game script than anything. Like the Saints just never got anything going on offense against the Packers defense. I think against the Raiders this week, it's a much more optimal matchup. Alvin Kamara is still out. I do believe in Miller's talent. I think he's a good athlete. I think he has a good playmaking ability. I think I'd flex Miller, and then I would go with Downs as well. I don't like the other options over Downs or Miller.
Perfect. All right, D. Smitty, blessed be in multiple championships. Yes. Blessed to be in multiple championships. I was thinking like it's Sunday morning. Let's read it the
Blessed
list.
be the
Like,
fruit.
blessed be.
Blessed
multiple
be
championships. And how I was gonna go, but I'm gonna stop before I get fired. Thanks, guys. Here's one decision point in the tight end matchup: PPR flex spot. Brees Hall, Jameson Williams, Mooney, or Jonnu Smith. I think it just Jagger's going to be Brees Hall and Jameson Williams from your chat this morning.
Probably Jameson Williams, man. Like he keeps proving me wrong. I'm surprised. Like Lions Twitter, it's been a month. I feel like every full moon they remind me of a joke tweet I made. So I'm surprised they haven't been around to remind me that Jameson Williams has been very good.
All right, Andrea, need 3 with Devonta Smith, Shakir, Neighbors, and Wicks. Hutch, so you can sit one of those guys.
I think you're benching Dontavian Wicks here. When you look at the talent level of the 4 players you're looking at here, it's easily Dontavian Wicks that you can rule out. I know Smith has the quarterback issue and Shakir is inconsistent with volume. Neighbors has a quarterback issue, but you got to trust the talent of those 3 players in your fantasy championship. Start those 3 guys.
Perfect. Rachel's in here. Good morning, beautiful, lovely people. What are your fantasy New Year's resolutions? Hutch, you go first.
Oh man, fantasy New Year's resolutions. I think one thing for me that I learned this year was I've learned this more and more over the last few years. It's really hard for me. I'm like when it comes to like making decisions, I'm a pretty black and white type of person. Like I kind of go here or there. And I think I need to learn more that I need to look at every outcome when it comes to a player and not get stuck in one mindset when it comes to a player's outlook. And I think that's something I've learned over the last few years and slowly gotten better at, but I can still get better. So that's a New Year's resolution for me in the fantasy football world.
It's very good. For me, it's kind of like what Hutch says. We all get kind of stuck in our ways. I need to be more open to buying cheap discount players and be more realistic of like second round picks and whatnot, and not feel so bad about FOMO. Like one league, I'm upset that I've spent a second on Romeo Dubs, but like realistically, Romeo Dubs is probably fine for a second at that point. And who am I going to gamble on? So that's just a little dynasty thing. What about you, Joey?
My fantasy New Year's resolution is not to leave Hutch at the roulette table this year. When we go to Vegas for the retreat, when he got left behind in Vegas, his dad was really mad at me. I just want to avoid that whole situation this year and make sure the retreat is fantastic for everybody that's attending, especially for all the first timers. And morning, guys. And then everyone's wondering, did Joey really leave Hutch at the roulette table? No, absolutely not. It was at the craps table. Spears or Madison? It's going to be Spears. All right. Andrea, Joe Flacco or Bryce Young? Jagger.
I'm starting Bryce Young today. I believe in Bryce Young. He's unlocked the running game also as of late. He's had two games in his last 3 weeks with 40 plus rushing yards. At least is that what I remember correct? If I remember that correctly, but he's really unlocked that running game, and he's going to need to today too. The Panthers have no running backs. It's Raheem Blackshear and Mike Boone as their starting running backs. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a couple schemed up runs for Bryce Young with that athleticism.
Hutch, you mentioned those Carolina running backs. Are you even in a desperation point starting either of those running backs today?
I was looking at the DK like rushing lines for these guys, just see where it's at. Raheem Blackshear's rushing line, he's the clear lead back by the DK, and it's 28.5 rushing yards. Like, it's really bad. Like, I don't want to start any of these guys if I don't have to, especially against Tampa's run defense. They started out really poor this year overall, but they've gotten a lot better. Vita Vea is an unstoppable force in the run game. I think the Panthers lean heavily on the pass today.
Yeah, I want to be clear. When Hutch is saying the DK lines, he's not talking about DraftKings. He's talking about DK Metcalf. He actually has his cell phone number and calls him to get lines. So.
Yes. Yeah.
And NFL, I'm kidding. Hutch doesn't have that number because that would be illegal for DK Metcalf to do that, and he would miss time. And I don't want to be the reason the DK Metcalf misses time next year.
Roger Goodell
Andrea, good luck.
just started an inquiry.
Got him. It's like, oh, no. I would do anything to be able to walk out on that draft stage and announce a pick for the Bucks. I'll tell you what, even if it means getting DK Metcalf shut down for the season. And champion. So Smitty, thank you for being here, Smitty, on a bike ride today. So let's help him get a championship. He lost Lamb and Walker. Oh God, that's rough.
Ouch.
Needs a running back and a wide receiver and a flex out of Tank Bigsby, Kendre Miller, TJ Hawkinson, and Jalen Coker. Who are we sitting there, Hutch?
Oh man, you're gonna sit one of these guys. That's a difficult decision. I think I'm going to sit Hawkinson here. Bigsby seems like he's the lead runner of the team. Miller, I talked about earlier. I think he has a big opportunity this week. And Coker has had some explosive plays as of late. He's been more involved in the offense as he's come back from injury. Hawkinson's been so hot and cold. The involvement is not consistent enough. And the tight end position is one that is just a wasteland. I think you have enough running back and wide receiver depth here just to bench the tight end and start those other three.
Perfect. Andrea coming in with Jonnu Smith or Chig. And we've answered this question, but I kind of want to expand upon it. It's Chig, and that's the safe option. But Hutch was mentioning his resolution being like being able to get one game out of your head and one mindset out of your head. If you remember the Isaiah Likely breakout game, it was with Snoop Huntley. It was not with Lamar Jackson. I would still start Chig, but if Jonnu went off today and just continued the white hot streak, I wouldn't be shocked. Once again, Chig is the safe bet, but I want to put a little love on Snoop's name there because I think he deserves it. Robert North. Ooh, that was scary there for a second. Happy holidays. Cooper Rush or Bryce Young, 1 point per reception. Jagger knows where my mind was at. Who are you starting?
I don't. I'm lost.
Yeah, probably. Okay. Probably Cooper Rush here. Actually, no, I'm going to go Bryce Young. Not having CeeDee Lamb just bothers me, man. I know everyone keeps saying, well, Cooper Rush has done this. Like, Cooper Rush knows his job is to get the ball to CeeDee Lamb. Like, that's what he's been good at.
Yeah, this is going to
– Oh, good.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, man. Yeah, I don't like this game at all, the Philly and the Dallas game. Because I think with Kenny Pickett in the game, Philly's going to try to win with the run game and with good defense. And Dallas, without CeeDee Lamb, is not an offense you want to watch. I think this is going to be a very slow game. I'm worried about almost everybody in this game. And Cooper Rush, I don't think we're going to see. I don't think there's a chance he gets 2 touchdowns to the air this week. I really don't see it. So yeah, Bryce Young is the option there.
All right, Colby, make that dunk. It's Chig and Devonta Smith for you. Starting with those players. And then Irish, any weather concerns with Brian Thomas Jr., would you pivot to Shakir or Chig? Yeah. I think we're gonna...
Yeah.
Clubhouse leader for name of the day. Son of that culture. There we go.
Yes.
Yes. That's a great carry. This Hutch, you weren't here in the first half hour because Jeff was here. But we're talking next year. We don't want any real names. We want all like names and avatars.
On references. Okay.
Avatars.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that.
Son of that culture.
Answer's Tucker Kraft for me.
Yeah.
If you're wrong, you're in trouble, Jagger, because he's pointing right at you.
He's coming after me. He's going to be beautiful. It looks like.
Marvin Jr. Harrison, need lots of upside play, wide receiver. Played Connor and Stafford. Ooh, thinking. So Watson's not going to be an option for you. So it'd be Wicks, Jalen Tolbert, or Kevontae Turpin, Pierce, or someone else. Boy, you're scraping the bottom there. Would it be Wicks here, guys, with the opportunity that he has today with Watson most likely being out?
Yes, especially he said upside. That's who I'm.
Okay.
The only one I'm tempted by is Alec Pierce. He's had some big plays this year, and the New York Giants defense can't do anything at all. So that's the one I'd be tempted by as well. But with Christian Watson looking to be out, it's probably Wicks. He has shown to have really good opportunity when one of these guys between Dubs and Watson and Reed misses.
With Tua doubtful, would you pivot Achane to Bucky or Garindo? I have to pull myself away from this question because I would start Bucky Irving over Lamar Jackson at this point, I think, in the season. I'm not doing that. I'm just saying I love Bucky.
You heard it here, guys.
You heard it here. Clip that.
I'm going to make sure Joe
Who has more rushing yards, Bucky or Lamar? I think Lamar.
Who has more rushing yards? Oh, my gosh.
So, Hutch, is it going to be Bucky, Garindo, or Achane?
Oh, man, that's really difficult. I think I would with Tua out, I would be willing to pivot to Bucky Irving. Rashad White's involvement has been incredibly inconsistent. It's primarily been the Bucky Irving show, and you get it against Carolina, one of the worst defenses in football that are also missing additional pieces today. I would go with Bucky.
Beautiful. Hopefully next Christmas I hope the Bucks bring the black jerseys back for like a Thursday night game. Have a black Bucky Irving jersey.
I love those jerseys.
I miss them. I have a Martin Gramatica black Bucks jersey. I have a kicker jersey.
Gramatica.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Rotten. Just a rotten time today. Abdullah or Neighbors? It's Neighbors, but I like your enthusiasm and confidence in Amir Abdullah.
Not on mine at all. The receiving volume for him has been insane. In a PPR league, he is not a bad flex.
No.
But it's
Dan
not
Hill's in here. Yeah. And see, Dan Hill is what we're trying to get away from. Dan, thank you so much for being here. Happy holidays, gents. Full PPR flex, either London or Brees. Jagger, where are you going?
London. You sound like you're from London.
Dan, thank you so much for being here, and thanks for being the butt of one of my jokes today. Moon Mullen riding the Polo Express, or is that Thomas the Tank Engine? I don't know.
Either way,
standard. Pick 2 wide receivers: Thomas, London, Reed, and Samuel. Hutch, pick 2.
So we can assume Thomas is Thomas Jr., right? Brian Thomas Jr. Yeah, you're going with those first 2 then.
Mm-hmm.
You're going with those first 2. It's not even close for me.
All right, and flip TCB. I'm sure that means something bad. Half PPR, Jonnu or Darnell Mooney is going to be Darnell Mooney, right, Jagger?
Yeah, because you're hoping for the same upside either way. You hope they catch one and take it. Yeah.
I'm really worried that we're telling people to bench Jonnu a lot of times today. That it's making me feel like he's going to go off. But yeah, no, you're starting Mooney here.
Jeff earlier in the show kind of apologized for telling people that he said to sit Jalen McMillan. It wasn't that Jeff was saying sit Jalen McMillan last week. It was that the options that people had over McMillan were a lot more solidified and sturdy in their options. And so it's not that we're telling people to sit Jonnu, and I know you know that, Hutch, but it's, against Chig Okonkwo, like Chig's role is probably going to be better today. We know what it can be there with Mason Rudolph. It's not exciting, but Mason Rudolph likes to throw to Chig Okonkwo and his tight ends. As bad as a quarterback as Mason Rudolph is, and as terrible as he is to walk this earth, and he shouldn't be here, he's still out there, and Chig Okonkwo should be fine today. Yeah, I don't like Mason Rudolph much. It's okay. Need a PPR flex play for the championship between Shakir, McMillan, Josh Downs. Who's it going to be, Hutch?
I mean, we've talked about all 3 of these guys.
It's
today,
McMillan,
I believe, on the
for
show.
Me for upside and Downs for floor. So let's say you play James Conner or Stafford.
I'd agree there.
Then I'm playing McMillan. But if your guys are sitting pretty, I don't mind just popping Josh Downs in my lineup.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Right, D. Smitty's got another one for us. And earlier, Hutch, we kind of diagnosed we were going to get a lot of Ford and a lot of Spears questions today, and we would put Spears over Ford. Are you on the same page as us?
Yeah, I'd be on this. Against Miami, I'd be on the same page. Honestly, right now on DraftKings odds, it's 30-1 for a Dolphins-Browns no touchdown game. I don't think that's a bad bet at all. Like, that game is gonna be disgusting. That's gonna be disgusting. That game's gonna be disgusting.
I mean, this was the weekend of no touchdown games. Like, there was a couple of them. So
yeah.
So Irving, Garindo, or Spears? Hutch, pick 2.
I'd go Irving. Irving and Garindo.
Ooh,
okay.
Ooh.
I think with Detroit's banged up defense and with Garindo set up for the lead role, I think, and especially Monday Night Football, it is in San Francisco at home. I think Garindo is a good one. I'm worried. I'm going against him in a couple matchups this week, and I'm worried about
it. I think the line between those two is tough.
It's close. Yeah.
Yeah, it is close. And then Jay Bond is saying not liking your Buffalo script for Shakir. Well, I've gone to the NFL and I've asked for them to let me be the script writer, and they've said no. So complain to them, not to us.
He has to cut
Aaron
his
Bacon
on some January fodder, hoping he breaks out on something. It's a little film joke for you.
Aaron Bacon need upside in PPR as I played against Burrow, Higgins, and Chase Oh, that's a tough beat right there. Pick 3 between Evans, McLaurin, Drake London, Juwan Jennings, Aaron Jones, and Bucky Irving. Jagger, I'm going to throw this to you. Pick 3, and we need just home runs. Each one has to be a home run.
Nothing but bangers. Look, guy, you ranked them. Mike Evans, Terry McLaurin, Drake London. The only one I'd consider trying to force into my lineup is maybe Bucky Irving over Mike Evans. That's something I might try to do. If you want to, but if you want to yin and yang it, I think Bucky Irving has one of the safest floors out of this. Drake London and T Mac have one of the highest ceilings. So.
Yeah, I like that analysis. And also, Aaron, you mentioned you're going against Bro Higgins and Chase. I recently tweeted this past week. Is there someone that went against Ladd McConkey and T. Higgins this week in fantasy? And I got like 80 replies worth of screenshots of people going against horrifically bad scenarios in their fantasy finals. Dude, there are some down bad people out there right now. It's awful.
I do agree with you guys. As much as I love Mike Evans, favorite player of all time, I think I would put Bucky in over him and then play those 2 wide receivers because I've got a feeling like Terry and Drake London are both going to have good games tonight. And then Bucky against Carolina, I just think that's a great matchup. And the only thing with Evans is he's going to hit 1,000 yards. It's going to happen. Like,
yeah.
Is it going to happen this week and he just gets it done this week? Maybe. All right, Ben in here. Oh, that's a nice headshot, Ben. Like we've been mentioning, we don't really want names and real pictures. You stay here right with us, Ben. You don't change at all. Yeah. A-Chan or Brian Thomas Jr. in the flex. Jagger.
Brian Thomas Jr. It's like it's glamour shots or you make something fun. That's it. Like do this here. You had that professionally done, Ben. You get to stay, Ben.
He looks like the second DJ set at Coachella. That's the photo of the artist that's going to be playing. It's like if you've not heard of him yet, and he doesn't wear a hat because he's handsome, so he's not going to put like a funny mask on, like Daft Punk or was it Deadmau5? Is that how you say it, Deadmau5?
Yeah, and Marshmallow.
Yeah, so yeah, that's what's going on with Ben. I just diagnosed this whole. You only got to look at Ben's LinkedIn, which I'm sure that picture that's where it came from because I just gave you his whole CSV there. All right, Kyle B. Start one wide receiver, and 1 flex between Garrett Wilson, Thielen, Garendo, and Tracy Hutch. Who's the wide receiver going to be?
I think you're starting Thielen here over Garrett Wilson. Wilson's involvement in the offense has been really, really inconsistent. And I expect Thielen to have a really good game today. Tampa's secondary is absolutely awful. And when you look at a lack of run game for Carolina, you're probably going to have a lot of those shorter passes. You see it in Miami where you can't run the ball with Devon Achane. So you have to use your passing game as an extension of the run game. And I expect to see that here for Carolina. So I expect Adam Thielen, a lot of those short in routes, easy slants where he's going to get wide open and Bryce Young should be able to deliver a short ball to him. So I like Thielen here in this one. And then I'd probably play Garendo over Tracy. The Giants offense has been so unproductive, and that Detroit matchup, we initially saw it as really, really bad for a lot of running backs, but man, the injuries have piled up so high for them that they're starting to become a really, really good matchup for fantasy because they have such a potent offense that scores a ton of points, and their defense puts them in shootout situations. So I expect on Monday Night Football for this game to be really high scoring and Garendo have a good game.
Perfect. Steve Menslin in here. Morning, Steve. Hawkinson or Laporta in PPR. It's getting Laporta for me. Laporta's been actually clicking lately.
He's back.
Tight end 5.
About time.
Tight end 5 over the last 7 weeks. He's been monsters.
Yep. Angel in here. Downs or Spears in full PPR. It's going to be
a good question.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Let's all
this is a ceiling and floor, but like honestly, it's kind of the same, man. Like it's kind of the same. I think I lean Spears because he's a running back, and then the safety factor matters a little bit to me. If Spears sucks today, we're in trouble, Joey.
No, I don't. Honestly, Spears sucking today would be the most fantasy football outcome. You have a running back that finally gets the full workload after 2 20-plus point game weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in
Spears
the matchup with
bombs
Jacksonville
today against Hutch. You're perfect against Jacksonville. It would just be the most fantasy football thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna check Twitter because the conspiracy / betting bros are gonna be crashing out on Twitter. Like the NFL's rigged.
Yeah. Oh man.
All right. And chip number 3 question. Humble brag. 14 team PPR league. So he needs a running back or a halfback because he's being fancy. Kendra Miller or Tank Bigsby? Hutch, who is it going to be?
That's a solid question. I'm going to go with Miller though. I'm going to go with
Yes.
Miller here. But it is a good question.
All right, RJ. Oh,
I like that.
he's canceled, but he's still funny. Full PPR, Garrett Wilson or Jamo. Starting
Jamo.
dibs. Jamo. Yeah.
It's J-Mo.
And I like that you capitalize the player names to emphasize. This is what I do when I talk about a movie on Twitter, is I always put the title of the movie in all caps. Yeah. Chicken the Rain or Kraft? Kraft? Yeah, pretty confident Kraft. And then championship week stress level now at 11 after Cup's performance. Thanks from Cold Butt Canada. Yes, I know my country flags. That was an easy one though. It's like
That was a very easy one.
Yeah. If you messed that up, I'd be concerned.
Yeah.
I've been to Epcot enough times to know what the flags are. All right. Okay. Aaron Corkum, pick 2. Achan with no Tua. Tajay with no Pollard. Or Devontae Adams. I know what his name is, but I wanted to say it how it was spelled.
He botched every name on the last.
He botched every name.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm sorry. I had to say something here.
That's tough, man.
Dude. I get it. As someone who writes about football for money, it's really hard remembering every Devontae.
Yeah.
Where did he botch the first name?
HN
got
got
HN.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other ones. Okay.
So I think I take HN and Tajay.
I think.
Do you want Devontae?
I mean, they're gonna have to throw the football, keep up with Buffalo, man. They're gonna have to throw the football, keep up with Buffalo. And Devontae Adams and Rodgers have been best friends as of late. It's been hot and cold, but those two have really gotten it clicking.
It's adorable that you think the Jets could keep up with Buffalo, but like I
don't know. I'm not saying they can. They're going to have to try though. They're gonna have to try.
Jeff Bell, our very own Jeff Bell, has said though that the Bills suck against the Jets for some unknown reason. So if I don't know, Joey be the tiebreaker here.
I just wish Hutch would stop saying that the Jets are going to keep up with the Bills today. I mean, it's just like, I don't know why he keeps saying it over and over again. For me, it's going to be HN and Devontae Adams. I think the touchdown's going to happen, and I would take the safe points of the time. Oh man, yeah, you've got a good decision here. I think you're going to be fine either way. I'll just take the easy way out. And Steve, hey guys, and tight end premium, 1.5 point per receptions, flex spot between Jonnu and Ridley. Okay, so there's a bump here for Jonnu with the extra 0.5 point for PPR for tight end premium. Hutch, where are you going?
I'd still lean Ridley here. Mason Rudolph and Ridley have shown to have a really solid connection when they're on the field together. And this is a bit of a revenge game for Ridley. He's going against his former team, Jacksonville Jaguars, who we had a kind of a weird season with them last year. And they're a really, really good matchup for wide receivers overall for all parts of an offense. I'm gonna go with Ridley here, even with the tight end premium.
Okay. And I'm gonna scroll down because I only do this for one person. Wait, I saw them. Where'd they go? Oh, guys. Oh, wait, here, real quick. Kids are discussing which chip is better to eat while watching football, barbecue or sour cream and onion. Guys, Hutch. You've got your finger on the pulse of the children of this country.
Yeah.
Is it the BBQ or the sour cream and onion? Where are you at?
It's the barbecue chips, 100%. I love both, but it's the barbecue chips. And sorry, I was laughing at your private chat, Joey.
Okay, yeah. Let's not say what I just said there.
No, let's not say it.
Bethany, Tristan, Eliza, thank you for watching. I love the three of you.
Oh, man.
Equally. And I lost my spot because I saw my beautiful wife's photo. Listen, we're talking about photos, and don't change your photo, hon. Keep it just the same. Hutch, you're done with us today. Thanks for being here, buddy. We love you and appreciate you as always.
Oh, shoot, it's 12 already.
Yeah, it's 12. We're bringing Adam in after you. But before we do that, you got any parting words for the people?
Best of luck in your fantasy football championship today, everybody. Stay calm, stay cool, keep yourself collected. Don't let this determine your happiness for the next few days because it's fantasy football.
That's actually a very good outro. I'm jealous. I never can do that well. And in that case, I'm gonna yeet you, Hutch. Bye.
Get him out. Yeah, he's too young to be succeeding this early. We just need to get him out as quick as possible. I don't know why we leave him up here so long. No, Hutch, we love you. Thanks for hopping in today. Who will be in the Discord until 1 o'clock, so noon to 1. Hutch will be over there answering questions, knocking them out of the park as always. Thank you again, Hutchinson Brown. But Adam. my main
What's up,
man.
boys?
You were here with us for 2 segments last week. We knocked you down to 1. You did such a bad job last week. I only have you here for 1. How are you doing, buddy? How was your holidays?
I'm doing well. I had a good holiday. How about you guys?
It was good. Spent a lot of time with my family.
Yeah.
A lot of Mario parties.
Heck yeah.
Good jamboree going. Yeah. If anybody wants to play Mario Party Jamboree, let me know. I'll play with you.
I don't even know what that is. So
it's a game that you play with the controller in your hand.
okay.
And you yell at the screen. And you yell at your kids.
I've got fantasy football. I've got too much stuff I'm yelling at the screen about.
Yeah.
I know Hutch was saying to keep a level head. It's hard sometimes. It's hard sometimes out there. We got championships we're trying to win.
Mm-hmm. We do. So let's help people win those championships. Adam, we have you here because you're handsome and also because you know about these injuries. We're going to look at the players that are hurt. We're not really necessarily worried about them rest of the season because not many people are playing in week 18, but maybe look with an eye towards next year if any of these injuries are going to linger at all. With Jalen Hurts and Anthony Richardson, we expect them to be back in form next year.
Yeah. And I mean, if you do play in a week 18 championship, like I feel good about Jalen Hurts playing next week. I think it was probably close. So I think he could come back next week if the Eagles have anything to play for. I guess it really depends on how today goes, obviously.
Yeah. And I'm going to need Anthony Richardson to change his name to Tony Richardson so his name fits better in our graphics. That's just inconsiderate on his part. Yeah, I think so. CeeDee Lamb and Chuba Hubbard are also out today. Chuba, season's over. That's it for him. And
same for CeeDee Lamb. I mean, I don't think the Cowboys put him on IR, but they've effectively shut him down for the rest of the season.
All right. Kate Otten, Alvin Kamara, David Njoku, and Tony Pollard's got the flu. So with the flu, we expect him to probably be back next week. No problem.
Yeah, I mean, his honestly, his biggest issue has been the ankle injury. He's had season low in snap share, and we've really seen that coincide with Tajay Spears taking off. I was skeptical about him playing this week because of the ankle. Obviously, the flu compounds that a little bit, but I don't think Tony Pollard's really been 100% since week 14 or 15. I can't remember whenever he was dealing with an ankle injury and re-injured it the same game. So we've really seen a shift in that backfield towards Tajay Spears for sure.
Okay. And then players that are questionable today. Now, have we gotten final word that Tua is out today? I know he was doubtful up until the show started.
Yeah, I haven't seen any official word, but I would plan on him being out.
Okay. Devontae Adams is questionable. It's a player we've talked a lot about this morning.
Okay.
What kind of limited fashion do you expect him to be today? Or do you think he's full go?
I mean, I think he's full go. Yeah, I mean, he was kind of questionable and limited this week, but all the reports out of New York really pointed towards it never really being in doubt for Devontae Adams to play on Sunday. I had him projected as likely active to play, so I think it's a full go. If you have Devontae Adams, depending on other things, I think you can feel comfortable about leaving him in lineups. I wouldn't be too worried about his hip injury.
Okay. And then Xavier Legette, also questionable for today, but expected to play. Also expected to play today, Malik Neighbors, Tyrone Tracy, Tyreek Hill, Isaiah Carindo, Joe Flacco, and Kenny Pickett. I can't believe I went off on Isaac right there. I've read my Bible enough to know how to say Isaac. I don't know what's wrong with Joey today. We don't know. Adam, any of those players are you expecting to be limited at all today? Or
not really. I think the biggest question mark is Isaac Garendo. And it has a little bit to do with his injury, but it has a lot to do with the San Francisco offensive line. That offensive line's been pretty banged up. I think they've got 2 or 3 backups in that offensive line as it stands now, heading into a Monday night game. He's somebody I'm a little bit worried about playing. Malik Neighbors look good in practice by all reports. I did a little bit of number crunching, small sample size, looking at Malik Neighbors when he's coming back from injury compared to his healthy average. There's a pretty substantial drop off. We're talking about 3 games here where he was either listed as questionable in the final injury report or returned from injury. He's somebody I think is sketchy. It's tough because we had a lot of players just ruled out this week. Teams theoretically, giving up on the season. So that's obviously limited a lot of options. We talk about players like Chuba Hubbard and CD Lamb and some of those other guys where teams are flat out pulling them. So I understand if options are thin. I'm just a little bit uneasy about Malik Neighbors.
Okay. Would that make you, let's say Wan'Dale Robinson and Darius Slayton are out there and you've got a desperation start you need, say you lost Chuba Hubbard and need someone for the flex. Would you consider starting either of those two guys then, with Malik Neighbors possibly having a little rougher time today?
I don't think those two guys. I think there would maybe be other guys. Like, I'm trying to go down the list. I don't want to get too deep in the weeds here. With maybe somebody like Dontavian Wicks, with Christian Watson not expected to play.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe somebody like Jalen Tolbert, with CD Lamb out. I would maybe try to pivot away from that Giants offense if I could. But those are options. Something to think about if you needed a desperation play. I wouldn't, just to be clear, I would not play those guys over Malik Neighbors. Those are just like desperation plays.
Yeah.
For deeper leagues. Okay.
Perfect. All right. And then not expected to play. Jalen Waddle and Christian Watson are both not expected to be out there today. So if you've got them on your teams, you definitely need to make options and have options to substitute in there for them. All right. Adam, we come to the point where I ask you, is there anybody I completely whiffed to mention today?
I think we made it 17 weeks, Joey, and this was a perfect score for you. You've done it.
Yeah, it was it because the first week I missed somebody and you brought that up. And it's been, Hutch's New Year's resolution was to not let one thing get in his head and cloud his judgment. But that one week I missed, I think it was Tony Pollard. And I forgot to mention him. You're like, oh, Joey, you didn't mention Tony Pollard. Just make sure, I'm like, okay, cool. Adam, do that.
But that's what the regular season's for. It's about getting better. We're in the championship. We're in week 17 and you're perfect. You're perfect this week.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Next year, we need to do a preseason episode and just do a dry run for Joey so that he can get everything right. Jagger's always perfect. So Jagger's over there. You don't worry about him. They put me in the center of the screen for some reason. I don't know why. All right. Let's look at these questions here. J Falk, Jennings, Mooney, and McMillan or Downs. I feel like we've had this a lot today. Adam, let's get your take on it.
I might. McMillan's been hot. I haven't looked at the actual numbers, but I feel like Josh Downs is a completely different wide receiver with Joe Flacco versus Anthony Richardson, like a totally different stratosphere.
It started to level out, to be honest.
Okay.
Josh Downs has been earning targets. He's still been overall just off. It's been more efficient with Joe Flacco, but Downs has been someone I've started comfortably week in, week out. So
we need to sit one of them. I saw the second part of the question in another comment. So sit
Mooney.
one.
I'd probably sit Mooney in that scenario.
People, somebody was saying that it might have been Hutch or Jeff saying they're worried that people are saying we're sitting Jonnu today. We're telling people to sit Mooney today quite a bit, and he might actually go off and have a good game. But out of these four options, it's definitely Mooney. Right. Daniel Midkiff, PPR, Brees, Shakir, or Downs in the flex. It's going to be Brees Hall. Spears or Robinson Jr. It's going to be Spears. Oh, it happened last week and you weren't here, Jagger. I think it happened again.
Don't
double post, they added Achane. No, see, it's not. They added Achane.
Okay.
So that's their out. They were like, oh, I forgot. So Brees over Achane or Achane, Adam?
I'm going Achane.
Okay. And then Nathan Ramirez, should I start Cook versus the Jets or Tracy versus the Colts in a PPR league? Jagger.
I'm going to start Cook versus the Jets.
Yeah, I am too. Just want to see that again. All right. Jay McDowell. Spears or Neighbors? All right, so here we go with Neighbors. The Adam giving us the info that Neighbors doesn't really bounce back as well, coming off an injury. Spears or Neighbors, Adam?
I think I'm not trying to get too cute here, but I think I would play Spears in this situation. Neighbors, definitely has a higher ceiling, but like in half PPR, I think the difference between running back and wide receiver is a little bit narrower. Yeah. And Spears is going to be the guy this week. I mean, the Jacksonville Titans over under, I think, is the lowest in the NFL. I think it was like 39 points over under, but I expect Spears to have a pretty hefty workload. I think there's some question marks about Neighbors, so I would go Spears here.
Jack, welcome in, Jack. Thanks for being here with us all season.
Jack, you can stay, Jack, but you got the headshot.
Yeah,
the glamour shot.
Yeah, Jack, you get to the black border on Jack's head makes it kind of look like he's wearing a bow tie today. Like he dressed up for the important show of the season. Thanks for dressing up for us, Jack. Team defense: Tampa Bay or the Raiders. Jagger, pick a team defense.
Bay.
And then quarterback: Bryce Young, Flacco, Rodgers, or Penix. You got an opinion on that one? Hopefully they do.
Penix, slightly like this is such a same tier of quarterbacks because it's like, wow, here's quarterbacks that could be good, but also have 3 carry-ons of baggage. You know?
For me, I'm starting Bryce Young out of this. I think the one thing the Panthers have done historically through their franchise's history is try to upset whatever Tampa Bay's got going on. And they seem to always get under their skin. Bryce Young just going off against Tampa Bay secondary today. It's absolutely something that could happen. So that's where I'm at on that.
He hasn't been, it feels gross. He has not been like bad the last 4 weeks. QB 8, QB 20, QB 18, and then QB 2 last week. Like, he might have kind of figured it out a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah. So me and Jeff said on the Dynasty Show, it's wild. Do you remember when quarterbacks needed time to develop? we just forgot. So like, why isn't he a Hall of Famer in year 1? Why CJ Stroud had a sophomore slump? It's like they're young, guys. They're young. That's the answer.
And it's a revenge game for Canellis today too. So it's all adding up for Bryce Young to have a good game. So, and then J Falk is talking to my wife. Hey, my Kool-Aid back off, but he's saying barbecue. Tim Rivera, half PPR, need to. I don't know. You didn't give us options, Tim. I'm sure somewhere down the line you did, and we'll get to that when we get there. Suspicious friend. Sit 1. Spears, Shakir, or Garrett Wilson. Adam. This is very suspicious.
I would definitely, I think based on our priors, play Spears. I'll play Garrett Wilson, but I don't feel great about it. But that's how I'd pick.
Okay. Choda. Oh no, power Wi-Fi outage. I'm assuming what happened is Choda put this question in on his computer and then hit the fan. So he had to run and grab his phone. So now he's asking us Daniels or Allen.
It was
Daniels. We had this early. We said Allen.
Yeah, and then Jeff told me that the Jets have Allen's number. They play weird, so they thinks they're just going to grind it out and get out. So we went with Daniels because of the implications of the Commanders game and the Falcons game.
Because of the implication.
Because of the implication.
And Daniels definitely has more to play for. The number 1 seed's already locked up in the AFC, so Buffalo cannot get that. All right, James Hackett. Good morning. Need 3 between running back Breece Hall, Spears, Devontae Adams, and AJ Brown. Your help is appreciated. So if we're sitting 1 out of this group, judging off of what we've gone through this morning, is probably going to be Spears, who we do like a lot, but you can't say AJ Brown, you can't say Breece Hall. Anybody rather sit Adams over Spears?
Oh man, I think I might. I can't believe I'm like hitching my wagon to championship week on Tajay Spears, but I think with Pollard out, like he was taking over that backfield and scoring touchdowns and being used in the red zone. And then without Pollard getting, 40% of the snaps, maybe someone else factors in a little bit, but I think Spears gets a bigger workload this week.
All right, please rank these defenses. Only because you said please. Colts, Eagles, Browns, Eagles.
Well,
I don't want the Eagles, but the Eagles maybe.
Yeah.
It's Eagles, Browns, Colts for me.
Yep.
All right, Nick's welcome in. That baby's still sleeping, guys. Okay, whisper. No, I want that baby to wake up because you're gonna be up all night if you don't wake that baby up. It's been sleeping all season. Pick
Wake
one.
up,
Ford
baby.
Speed. Yeah, baby, wake up, baby. Ford, Spears, or Tracy Jr. Full PPR. Adam.
Spears.
Yeah,
I said
I
it.
should have skipped
Spears.
That one, yeah. That was like a ventriloquist. That was good. Felix smacked the keyboard. Colts defense against Giants or Eagles defense against Cowboys. So it's going to be Eagles defense.
Yep.
Bucky Irving or Jawan Jennings. Bucky.
Oh yeah.
And then Colts defense against the Giants or Felix. You got me. Don't ever do that again. We might have hit a little run here because I see APAT asked the same question to it. This might actually be a StreamYard issue. We're gonna chalk it up to StreamYard. Chigger Craft, it's gonna be Craft. Scuba Steve 382, like that name. Pick 2, Devontae Adams, James Cook, and Tajay Spears. We haven't had James Cook in very much today. Jagger, it's gonna be Cook over both these guys, and then you go Adams over Spears.
Yes. No, I think I'm gonna start Spears. I think, for the safety of it. I don't know, man. Like I don't want to hitch my wagon to the Jets. That I may sound crazy for that. Sorry, I just got big college football news and I'm shook. So
Share
What
with
is
us.
it?
We're a football show.
Cal running back Jaden Ott is going to return to school. So
Mm.
that is the running back class is starting to thin out like we thought it would.
So GD's going to be
At least,
a pretty good pick then.
at least in the quarterback class, we got Carson Beck.
That's something.
TJ or Jonnu? Adam, pick one.
Oh, I would say Jonnu. I think you guys have had a couple of these questions. I don't know how I feel about Jonnu without Tua personally, but
That's what I was gonna say. Johnny's been like with one of the top 5 questions we've had. I might go TJ here because it's to me we're chasing the same upside. We really need a touchdown.
Mm-hmm. All right, and then 2 out of McMillan, Thielen, and Smith. It's going to be Smith and McMillan. Hawkinson, Ferguson, and Chig. It's between Ferguson and Chig, I would guess. Adam, pick one.
Ferguson. I thought really hard about that one.
And then Neighbors or Addison. It's going to be Adam, I'm going to come to you. Addison?
Well, can you ask Jagger? I hate to put Jagger on the spot. I have this exact question in a league, and I don't know what to do myself. I'm really torn between these two.
I'm not gonna lie. What you said about his injury, I would start Addison. I mean, that's I keep saying the same thing, and this is what happens when fantasy. You start quoting Dr. Manhattan like a dead body and a live body have the same amount of particles. But like that's kind of what we are at this point, is that we got 2 players. One of them is the focus of the offense, except for the fact that he's coming off an injury and his quarterback sucks. So you're hoping for a big play and a touchdown. Jordan Addison is a decent player, not Neighbors. It is at the focal point, but you need a touchdown. So at the end of the day, do you think whoever's playing quarterback for the Giants can get Neighbors a touchdown, or do you think Addison can get a touchdown from Darnold? And that's my thought process. Sorry for the mental gymnastics.
Well, and I don't want to like linger on the question too much. The only problem with Addison is it's not an Addison issue. It's that Justin Jefferson blots out the sun and gets like 15 targets a game.
I like that analogy.
I mean, that's the only reason it's tough. And I know I listed off some of those stats on Neighbors, and it seems like I'm waffling here. Like this is the tier I would have him in. Is like we have him Addison as a consensus at the Football Guys site at wide receiver 19. I have Neighbors like in the 20-ish range. He's supposedly, according to Ian Rappaport, Neighbors has looked really good at practice. And this is a small sample of just 3 games that aren't related to the toe. It's coming off a concussion and dealing with a groin injury where he was questionable, where there's some dip in fantasy production. I mean, I'm really torn on this. I'm leaning Addison by a little bit, but it's really tough.
I think this is the question of the day. Like I really do. I
really
think
is,
there's
yeah.
such a good line on this.
Because like that's why I said mental gymnastics. Like that's my reasoning. But like what you're saying, I'm like, yeah, I can't really argue that too hard, guys. That I go back to my original quote: a live body and a dead body have the same amount of particles. So they're
Don't they
virtually
lose
the same.
21 grams though when you die? Isn't that said? It's the weight of the
That's your
human
soul.
soul. Yeah. Toots Pop, do you have an I Love Bucky shirt yet? Shirt? No. Jay
Underwear?
Bond singing. Oh, didn't ask that question, did they? Singing the Chuba Blues during championship week. Have Tracy
that's
and
good.
Kendra Miller in the bullpen. Jagger, which one?
Kendra Miller is hot right now. Dennis Allen is gone. The bad man's gone. So Kendra Miller gets to come out and play.
Yay. And something I think Hutch said earlier, or it might have been Jeff, they look so much alike, I get them confused.
It's true.
I do not think it was a Kendra Miller problem last week. I think it was just a game scare problem in that game. So, once again, talking about good characters, images, the Tommy Llama on lock. You don't need to change next year.
Yeah.
Full PPR. Ford, Spears, McMillan, or Myers. Pick two. We're going to do Spears over Ford. And what about McMillan or
over
Myers?
McMillan for me.
Okay.
Same.
All right. Aaron Bacon, which could be a really great name if we had a good avatar to go with it. We'll find out next year when you're back. Need upside PPR as I play against Burrow. Oh, we've had this. Aaron, done us twice. Gonzo. Speaking of the Muppets, yeah, it's like the Muppet Show, and Gonzo's here because he played the horn. PPR start 2 and 1 in flex. So started Sutton. You got a touchdown out of that. Scary Terry, BTJ, and Jerome Ford. You ranked them. Actually, I would put BTJ over Scary Terry, but
Yep.
All right. Dan Tana, former
Yeah,
Dan Hill
there
here.
we go.
Yeah. Good job,
He
Dan
gets
Hill.
it.
Although Dan Hill is so like, it would work,
Make a hill avatar, like an anthropomorphic hill. I don't know how you
Yeah.
do that.
Former Dan Hill here, Joey. Wink face. Thanks for the advice earlier and all the best in the new year. Dan Tana, killer name, killer avatar. Thanks for being here. This is kind of like turned into like the old guys. I'll bring it back to the Muppets. It's kind of like turned into Statler and Waldorf, just making fun of your name and then quickly answering a question about football.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's like my dream show. Let me roast you and then we talk a little football. Love it. All right. And then half PPR, pick one between Brandon Cooks, Tyreek Hill, and JMO. I think it's going to be ooh, man. All three of them got their warts, but all three have really kind of cool upside. Adam, pick one. Oh,
I'm going to just pick Tyreek Hill, and it's for the sole reason of I just don't want to lose my championship with Tyreek Hill on the bench.
Got it.
That's the only reason I would pick him.
You take her to the dance, even though she's not looking as good as she did in the start of the year.
Very true.
Gonna get some letters about that one. Neighbors or Jennings PPR. Thanks, guys. Jagger. You gonna play Jennings over Neighbors?
Neighbors.
Yeah.
I would have said Jennings earlier, but Adams spiel has won me over a little.
And I don't think Jennings is like 100% healthy either. He's not like on the injury report, but he hasn't been the same the last couple of weeks since he's come back. I think there might be something there, but yeah.
Story of the 49ers. I don't think they're 100% healthy.
Yeah, that's true.
Somebody popped in the chat. I had to scroll their question.
I saw
yeah,
it.
It's getting a little dicey. Neighbors or Spears is gonna be Neighbors. A damn Hutchinson. My question is for everyone but Adam. Non-tight end primo, Ertz or Jonnu? Are you still in Scott Fishbowl?
No, I was like top 200, but this is a different league. We spent a lot of time on Neighbors Addison. We don't have to go over Neighbors Addison, but
yeah,
I need help. Even the experts need help.
Mm-hmm.
Jagger, Ertz, or Jonnu?
I would lean Jonnu here. It's the same upside, but I think Jonnu's a better player. Like if anyone could get themselves a touchdown, I think Jonnu can over Ertz.
Perfect. And then Sorry Joe Plus gives access to the host chat. You do not want to see what I put
You
in the
don't want
host
to
chat.
see that. Yeah.
Okay.
You do, but
Yeah.
you don't.
You don't. Not JB's grandmama. Good morning, my sweeties. Good morning to you. Thank you for being here with us. If any law enforcement asks, I've been here all morning. Snitches get stitches with a whisper. So I've been a huge fan my whole life of the Dan Patrick Show, and there was a caller for years, Shay and Irving. The caller, he's a huge Cowboys fan, and he was like his own character. I love all of our characters and everyone that watches the show, but JB's grandmama, you are our Shay and Irving. We gotta keep you under our thumb, but we love having you there. Leighton Power. Ooh, that's a good name. With Hubbard out and the Giants being in the position they're in, do I start Tracy or Blackshear in the RB2 slot? Yeah, start Tracy. I'm not ready to put Blackshear in a championship lineup. Devontae Adams or JMO?
Adams.
Okay. Thielen or Josh Downs, Jagger?
Downs.
Aiden O'Connell and Mason Rudolph, I'd rather just lose. No, I would. We're going to get you an answer. I just had to say it because you said Mason Rudolph. But thanks for spelling his name wrong because, yeah, I appreciate that.
Subtle
Aiden,
disrespect.
Yeah, I like it. Are we going Aiden O'Connell here? Or are we going Mason Rudolph?
I'd go Aiden O'Connell for the simple reason that he throws to Brock Bowers, and Brock Bowers is a yak monster and could rip off a 50-yard catch at any time.
And then it sounds like a bad year to win my dynasty consolation bracket for the top pick. Okay.
No.
D Smitty TV,
true.
thanks for being here with us all year. You don't need to change anything. You've got a fun avatar that's football related, and you got a cool name. So you're good. P Money, Penix or Bryce. It'd be Bryce Young for me. Anybody disagree and roll Penix out there instead?
Nope.
No. Matchups should be good. I mean, I think you've got a good option here, which we wouldn't think at the beginning of the season. This would be like, hey, I don't feel so bad about this. Strange or Jawan? That's a fun question. Adam, give him an answer.
I'd probably go Strange.
P Money, I like your third question the most. Rashad White, Tyreek Hill, or Kendre Miller? Pick two. Which one are we going to sit, Jagger? Hard.
If you sit Tyreek Hill and you win, you're gonna look like a genius. But if you lose and Tyreek Hill does anything, I'm gonna tell you to sit Rashad White. But outside of my other mouth, I'm probably would sit Hill.
It's
spicy.
one of the tougher ones we've had today. Go ahead, Adam.
I said that's spicy.
It's very spicy.
Oh, guess who's back? Little French boy. Tracy or Ford, full PPR. It's going to be Tracy.
Tracy? Yeah, they're the same. Tracy. Let's go Tracy.
Tyreek or Downs?
Downs.
All right. Neighbors for Armando.
Neighbors.
Guys, last show of the season we're probably going to be here next week too. We got through all the questions. Bucks, Colts, Browns, or Dolphins? Is it Dolphins?
Yeah, D.
Yeah.
Browns, Swelling.
And then for McMillan or Garendo? McMillan. Garendo. Yeah, McMillan. All right, guys. Well, that's it. We got through all. Oh, Jay Falk, you had to run it. I was just, y'all rock. Appreciate the help. Joey, I didn't know that was your wife. Suddenly I don't eat chips. It's fine. Yeah. Everybody hits on my wife. I'm used to it. It's, I hit on her sometimes. And
if you want to see what's in our host group chat, it's mainly us hitting on Joey's wife.
Yeah. So my wife, rarely will she show up on the show. And then I told her, I was like, hey, Jagger's going to be there today. And bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, there she is in the chat. She's got a thing for Kluge, too. She drove 2 hours to see Dave back in November. So and Dave's married, honey. And you know his wife, so you shouldn't be acting that way. Boy, I'm paying for this later. Guys, thank you so much for being here with us all season. We appreciate it. We most likely will be back next week for week 18. If you have championship lineups or you just want to hang out with us, we might just do like an hour. Last year, I think we did 1 hour, but we would definitely want to be able to help you out. Hop over to the Discord. Hutchinson will be there until kickoff, answering all of your start-sit questions. Adam, any parting words for the audience today?
I just want to say thanks to everybody for tuning in. If you're not subscribed to footballguys.com, do it. This offseason, we're going to have a lot of dynasty content. I'm sure Jeff and Jagger are going to be really busy as we get ready for the draft. But it's been a joy to be here. We hope that you guys win your fantasy football championships, and just want to say thanks to everybody.
Absolutely. Jagger.
Love you guys.